brief content of a human resource management, a human resource planning. Significance of a human resource planning means importance of human resource planning and supply of human resource. We will discuss about this topic, that what is human resource plan, importance of human resource and supply of human resource. Human resource planning. Human resource planning, as the name suggests, is the process of identification, forecasting of future requirement of type and number of people in order to meet organization goal and objective. It is a continuous process either due to a fresh requirement of manpower owing to change, growth, diversification of a business, or due to attrition of manpower due to a retirement, termination, death, disability, or resignation. So human resource management definition. HRM is one of the crucial element of human resource management. HRP include estimation of how many qualified people are necessary to meet their future business requirement. How many people will be available and what, if anything, must be done to ensure availability of personnel equal the demand of all items in the future. Or human resource planning is a process by which an organization ensure that it has the right number of right kind of people at the right place at the right time, capable of effectively and efficiently completing those tasks that will help the organization achieve its overall objective. So this is the human resource planning. Everything need to know about the importance of human resource planning. Human resource planning is a very important as it helps in determining the future human resource need of the organization. The effectiveness of a human resource planning process decide the adequacy of available manpower in the organization. In surplus of workforce in the organization and bring serious disaster. The importance of human resource planning can be studied under the following heads: key to managerial function, efficient utilization, motivation, better industrial relation, and higher productivity. HRP system as well we have. HRP system is such a system that include the following element or set of the following. First, business environment. Second, overall organization objective. Forecasting manpower need. Assessing manpower supply. Matching manpower demand supply factor. Based on these elements, we can draw HRP system as under. In a top, we will have business environment. In a business environment, under business environment, like a graph, in a business environment, we will have organization objective and goal. Organization objective and goal can be further divided into manpower forecast and manpower supply assessment. From manpower forecast and from manpower supply assessment, these three come. manpower program, manpower implementation, manpower control, and manpower evaluation. From the control and manpower evaluation, two other elements are come. One is called surplus manpower and the another is shortage of manpower. So this was the system of manpower. Now with the help of diagram, we will explain these. So this is the human resource planning. In human resource planning, we have strategic planning, we have HR demand, and we have HR supply. And from both HR demand and HR supply, the variances are come, the difference are come, if surplus, if shortage. So in a strategic planning that we make a strategic planning, it will include technological forecast, economic forecast, market forecast, organization planning, investment planning, annual operating planning. So after that, HR demand, what are the demand of HR? Annual employment requirement, that annually the employment requirement for the organization, and number how much, 10, 15, 100, 2, 3, 5, with their skill, occupation categories, and compare with HR supply, existing employee inventory after application of expected loss in attrition rates. So now we will compare these HR demand and HR supply with the variance. If surplus, if we have more employee in organization, so action decision is a layoff or even retirement or termination. So that is end. If there is a shortage of employee, so we will provide overtime for the employee, we will recruit, and we will make contractor employee for the organization. In case of shortage, we will hire new employee, or we will give more salary as a overtime for the existing employees to cover the overall objective of organization, to complete the strategic plan of organizations. If employee are surplus, means we have more employee in organizations, so even the employee should be retired, or the employee should be terminated, or the employee should be laid off. So this was the human resource planning process. Human resource planning process. Or let me add something to the human resource planning. Importance of HRP: link business strategy in company operation. Focus on achievement of the objective of the organization. HR plan are linked to overall corporate plan. Facilitate better coordination. To minimize future risk and uncertainty. Forecast the need of technical and other manpower for the future. Reduce the chance of high HR cost. Match demand and supply forecast to determine the future shortage and surplus of HR. So this was the importance of HR planning. Importance of human resource planning, which human resource planning is an important tool of human resource management. Human resource planning is a two-phase process by which management can project future human resource requirement and develop a human resource plan. It helps in a proper recruitment and selection, so the right types of people are available to occupy the various positions in the organization. It also facilitates designing of training program for the employee to develop the required skill in them. Human resource planning play an important role in the effective management of personal systematic human resource planning. Provide lead time for the acquisition and training of employee to meet future requirement. It is all more crucial because the lead time for procuring personnel at a time consuming process in criteria cases one may not always get the requisite type of personnel need for the job. Non availability of suitable human resource may result in, in delay or executing the new project and expansion program, which ultimately lead to lower efficiency and productivity. To overcome this, an organization must plan out the human requirement well in advance so that it could compete effect with the competition in the market. So human resource management is play the crucial role in implementing the project, in execution, starting of the project. So financial resource or other resource we can easily find in the markets, while human resource cannot be found in a day, in a second, in a minutes. So human resource management talent, human resource management skill, human resource management communication skill, human resource, so there are different dimensions for the humans. The most difficult task in the world is to manage humans. So human resource planning result and reduce the labor costs as it help the management to anticipate shortage or surplus of a human resource and correct these imbalance before they become unmanageable and expensive. So human resource management planning result both reduce the cost and they make balance between shortage of employee and surplus of employee, and they make balance of both of them. Two, it serves as a basis for planning employee development that is designed to make the optimum use of work and skill within the organizations. Three, it enable identification of the gap of the existing personnel so the corrective training could be input. The training program become more effective. So human resource management will identify, HRP will identify, tools will identify where the gap is exist. Once they find the gap, so human resource management will provide the training. As one of the biggest function of human resource management is training and development. So employee need training. So the training program for the employee become more effective. 4. It lead to improvement in the overall business planning process. So HRP bring improvement in our all business planning, if that is financial planning, forecasting, uh, strategic planning, overall planning. So they bring uh, improvement in their all business planning process. Any financial plan, non-financial plan, the plan which make in the organization, so it will lead through the improvement of all the business process. 5. It help in formulating managerial succession plan as a part of a replacement planning process. So basically we have two dimensions. One is called managerial and the another is called operations. Managerial are those that we can take decision on that. Managerial could be planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Operation function, once managerial function decide, so the operation function will start. So this was number 5. Number 6, it lead to greater awareness of importance sound of human resource management throughout the organizations. So HRP, they bring the awareness of all importance of the human resource management in overall organization, regarding promotion, regarding the termination, retirement, coordination, forecasting, demand, supply, means the greater awareness, promotions, demotions, whatever occur in a human activities in organization, it will lead in aware the humans. 7. It serves as a tool to evaluate the effective of alternative human action in policies. So if we talk about the this HRP, so it will take hours, 2 hours, 3 and 4. Well, let me give a little bit more informations. In one class, in one day, the importance of human resource cannot be easily to finish. So, estimating a future demand for a human resource. HRP determine the future requirement of personnel on the piece of development, expansion, and diversification of a business. It also deal with surplus and deficit workforce of the organizations. 2. Bridging the gap. HRP play an important role in bridging the gap between the demand and supply of workforce in organizations. 3. Enhancing workforce. HRP advocate for the training and development of workforce to cater the future demand for the workforce. 4. Coping with change. HRP facilitate to cope with the change as the change are inevitable. HRP focus on change in nature of workforce, technological change, organization change, demographical change, legality and ethically in dealing with workforce. 5. Determining the cost of a human resource. Outflow of money is involved in every process of HRP. Human resource planning take into account the money spent on every activity of HRM and facilitate cost control and cost reduction. Cost of hiring and training. HRP minimize the cost of hiring and procurement at and simple to understand. The money unspent is money safe. Diversification and expansion of a business. Diversification and expansion of a business result in demand for the workforce. HRP determine the quality and quantitative workforce requirement for the organization. 8. Management develop program. HRP decide upon need of money management development program and facilitate to conduct the same more effectively and efficiently. Optimal utilization of human resource. Effective human resource planning will help the adequate workforce and facilitate to use them optionally. It is also prevent. 10. Essential for the strategic planning. Strategic plan or the long-term plan of the organization. In the absence of HRP, strategic plan will become ineffective.